Most people believe that trauma destroys you and that something breaks and you spend your whole life trying to fix it. That's not what actually happens. Trauma doesn't just break you, it rewrites you. The problem is most people don't learn to read what was rewritten. They take a singular, isolated event, like a failure, a rejection, a loss, and they decide, this is devastating, this is the end of me, this defines me. The truth is, you do not have enough information to make that judgment because you experience life in a linear fashion. That's your perception of time. The past is behind you, it's no longer valid. The present moment is all that exists, and the future is this distant dream. And so a devastating loss right now feels final, but that is not how reality works. Time is cyclical. Your isolated event is really part of a larger pattern that you don't fully understand. Across many ancient cultures, indigenous traditions, Maori philosophy, ancient Indian system of thought, time is far more interconnected. It is cyclical. And so what feels like a loss or a destruction today can be the start of your future. Think of a rejection, for instance, a patent that fell through. Surely in the present moment, it feels like a loss. But what if that rejection causes you to build a better solution, a more robust architecture that you then scale into $1 billion business? You don't know that when you're staring at a rejection letter. That rejection becomes a pivot point only in hindsight. Think of a loved one passing. That is deeply distressing. But what if their passing makes you more connected to yourself? Upon their passing, something fundamental shifts. You realize that it's not the quantity of time you spend with your loved ones, but the quality of time. How present are you with the limited time that you have with your loved ones? How deeply do you feel their presence? How much of your soul do you fully share? How undivided is your attention? And that causes you to be alive, more present, more mindful, fully immersed in reality. But you don't know that while you're grieving. In the present moment, that grief is too strong. Think of a relationship ending, that lifeline that you depended on. What if that end is what causes you to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and causes you to build a life of your own and live on your own terms? Surely during the destruction, during the breakup, it feels like it's the end of you, but it's the beginning of your self-sufficiency. And so the problem is not what happened to you. The problem is how quickly you decided what it means. And that is the beauty of trauma, is that trauma creates a fracture. But that fracture is not your end. It is the beginning of a new version of yourself. It is an opening where old identities collapse, old thought patterns, old belief systems break, and what no longer serves you and what is irrelevant really becomes exposed. And in that moment, you have to make a choice. You either reconstruct or repeat. Most people try to recover. Very few people reconstruct because reconstruction requires something far more difficult. It requires you to stop seeing your life as a series of disconnected, isolated events and see them as part of a larger interconnected system that evolves over time. It requires you to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And instead start asking, what is this trying to build in me? Trauma is a signal that shows you that something in your current system is no longer sustainable. And so you're not defined by what happened to you. You are shaped by how you interpret the story over time. And that's exactly what I uncover in the Neurologic Recode, is how to take your setbacks, your failures, your limitations, your handicaps, and use them as raw material to reconstruct your identity inside out. How to take moments of collapse and failure and convert them into structural power. How to take fragments and scars and turn them into a masterpiece design. In the Neurologic Recode, I teach exactly how to leverage trauma so your life becomes your greatest work of art. If you'd like to check out the entire framework, you can find a direct link in the description below.